All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Happy Saturday, everybody. This is kind of a 5-10 minute short video here today. Going over the operating cost of David's new build, his new purchase. So I got an email again from one of our confidants who's actually lived in a place very similar to this. This is what they say. This person sent me the monthly figures last night. Those costs were monthly figures I sent you. One thing when you use as your lender and investment house, the contract is written by them and does not have to comply with the typical housing loans requirements and contracts. In other words, they could set the interest rate to meet or exceed other market-driven funds, or take over ownership of the mansion with even missed payments, or if they find the property upkeep is not being done properly, causing damage to the investment. That's why these investment firms, like, they can charge whatever the fuck they want, guys. Absolutely right. They see the property going down or anything, they give us our shit back. That's why David won't use a bank. That's why he's using this investment firm, guys, okay? Because, in other words, these loans used to be called handshake loans. Okay? So David is using an investment firm to purchase his property. Remember, he pulled $8.9 million. But we're going to talk about some other things here. I would avoid anyone from taking such a loan. The investment company requires a larger down payment, so the equity into the property from day one, 25% is very common, which is most likely what David had to pay on this property to get that loan from the investment firm. 25% down. Hey, you got 25%? Give it right now. 25% will give you the property. We'll invest in your property, right? Regarding homeowner associations, David, check this out. The homeowners association has boards that will require David to maintain the home and property to high standards. David, you are in a very high class neighborhood. You whatever you were doing in Chesterfield, guess what? It ain't gonna fucking fly here, buddy. All right? It's not. These people are not going to put up with your fucking bullshit, David. Guarantee it. These people will not put up with your hatred, your bigotry. They are not going to put up with that. These people are educated, smart, intelligent, driven, wealthy. Unlike you, you're just a fucking lying, degenerate sack of shit, David. That's what you are. You're here, like Thor said last night, to make it seem like you're prospering, but you're not. It's all bullshit. It's all a fucking pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, right? While they cannot remove you, they can impose fines after sending out warning letters to correct it. If board members dislike you, it can cost tens of thousands to fight against these boards. These people are not typically David-type people. Listen up, David. They are well-educated, speak multiple language, will not tolerate any disrespecting of women, hate homosexuality. None of it, David. They are not going to tolerate any of this bullshit, okay? This could be the worst place ever in a very short time. It's gated. Often these developments do not allow family members to live in these properties. You cannot just drive in and leave 20 cars out. Guards at the gate report to the Homeowners Association Board. It will not end well. Mark my words, I've lived in one of these and it was ugly. Pay attention, David. A typical private course in this area runs $150 to $400K a year just for membership. We know David's fat ass ain't going to be walking out on that fucking golf course hitting any balls. The only thing he's going to be fucking hitting, like I said, is a bag of fucking Big Macs and Whoppers, right? Then your local green and course fees of minimum $75 to $150 yearly, right? Other forms of membership include social only, which means you pay around $25 to $50 per year just to hang out at the club and use the pool. His monthly cost mortgage and minimum cost $75,000 per month. Just rough. This covers no auto expenses, no personal health or even car insurance, no travel costs just to hold services. That will be a small fleet of tickets since David will require these people to do his work. No benefits, no emergency contingency fund. What if we have another worldwide shutdown with no travel? He was spending so much on trucking, displays, overseas travel, etc. Volunteers are not going to stay around when David is sitting in his mansion and they cannot even get paid. And that's exactly what's happening here. David's got all these volunteers right now and people sitting back on Zoom giving all their money. David just bought this fucking huge mansion. You guys ain't getting shit out of the deal, man. You guys are actually getting shit on out of the deal. What's happening? And Shell, the one that's on David's Zoom all the time, he's shitting on you too. You're trying to be his next concubine. I also believe this too. I believe he'll start shooting his sermons from his home. Another huge mistake. If he does, as it goes against more homeowner association board guidelines. David, we've looked up these guidelines. Very strict guidelines here, David. I truly think he talked Susan into donating her money or found an elderly person to do so. Yeah, just so wrong. I think it's a multiple, you know who you are. It's a multiple of scams. He's getting after these divorcees when they leave their husbands. That's what David does. It's a sex cult. He's basically saying to these women, oh, I'm your spiritual husband and this and that, and you need to leave your man. He's not a good enough man for you and this and that, and I'm a better man and all this, and look at all this I got. I mean, I got all these houses and this and that, but it's all been run by a fucking scam. He's running it's almost like one of those overseas love scams that David's running now. No bullshit. He's got multiple scams, guys. And I just found out about this whole thing about how he's going after divorcees, man. Shitty shit, going after their alimony, their child support, everything, man. There is no holds barred with this piece of shit, David E. Taylor. All right? Okay, house payment, $32,470 a month. Or $389,460 a year for 30 years. So let's figure that. So if you bought the house, right, it was an $8.3 million purchase, or 8.4, right? So let's say 389, 460 times 30. That's $11.683 million. So you're paying over $2 million in interest. That's just the house payments. Okay? That's just house payments. $44,500 per month to just maintain. All right? Basic maintenance. All right? So let's just times that by 30 years. All right? So let's say $534,000, David. This is a lot of money, dude. This is a lot of money. It takes money to maintain these places, David. I have an acre, and it takes a shitload to maintain an acre. You got 5, like a fucking park? That's $16 million. Okay, let's just say $11 million that we just fucking found out the house he's going to be paying on the house. $27 million is what David's going to have to pay so far in a 30-year period just on paying on the house and upkeeping the house. So he has to take in $960,460 just in house payments and basic maintenance fees for 1 year. David, this does not include food, household expenses, visitor party expenses, travel, staff visiting. If they don't stay with David, they will still have some place to stay, laundry, cleaning, shopping, clothing, and then you have all the other expenses, truck tours, displays, rebuilding the trailers. He may have taken even more money from the investment house to finish his convoy of trucks and display. That's what I was thinking. Maybe that's why he pulled that extra $4.9 million to pay everything off. That could possibly be it. In other words, he may have a $2 to $5 million operating credit line with him just for the day-to-day operations of the church. I could also see him opening new church locations in multiple states so people can attend or give locally. He could hold services in hotel conference rooms since so many are in need of business, they would gladly rent out a meeting room each Sunday for him to host a service with some volunteers locally. He has the money coming in directly to the church, so no reason to worry about anyone stealing from him. Yeah. You know who you are. You know who you are. Hella good points there. Trying to see what else was in this email too. I mean, this person had emailed back and forth for quite a bit talking about this. Let's take a peek here. Okay, so that was kind of what I wanted to get out. That was just from one of our channel members. The operating cost, David, on this place alone. Listen up, man. It's gonna cost you $1 million a year. It's gonna cost you $1 million a year just to keep it up. You still got your stage, your trucks. I'm still kind of irritated at the fact that even though David is a church, right? He's operating as a 501c3. He, by law, has to show us his finances. By law, it says in the tax code. They have to provide that information to the public. Why doesn't he? Why does he get to continue going on, changing names, fucking everybody off, telling the government to fuck off, basically? Meanwhile, we're sitting back here and these people are fucking moving money around. And like Thor said last night, Thor Brynjolfsson, he said last night, and Thor's on it. My guy here told you too, Thor is fucking 100%, man. The church is going to protect the bank is going to protect their investment. That's why these, banks will do a tax check and all a credit check. These investment firms won't. They'll just be like, hey, give us the money. It's a high-risk investment, so they're going to hit David with a high-ass interest rate. David can't get a bank loan. He won't. He can't. Which makes me believe, like our guy was saying here, that it's a good possibility that David pulled out extra money from that investment firm to help pay off the rest of his bullshit that he's been just blowing off. Because he's broke. Because he doesn't have the money to do it. Makes me wonder what the production designers of the stage and everything are thinking. I wonder if they know about this big purchase and his stage being held up and all this other shit. I wonder if they know why it's being held up. But I just kind of want to get that off, guys. The overall cost of this place, David, is just dumb, dude. It's probably one of the dumbest things you've done. And again, the only reason we know you bought it is because of the person who sold it. That's the only reason. And the reason we know is because a journalist, right, looked it up because of who the person was that sold it, David. You bought it. It makes me wonder if they know. Of course they don't know. They don't know. They don't care. Because in these places, it's all about money. These people are fucking rich. They don't give a shit. It's all about money with these people. They don't care. They probably never heard of David E. Taylor. They're just like, oh, there's money there. Let's fucking take it. We're going to sell this mansion. But it makes me wonder if these people actually do research before they sell these big houses to people like this. I mean, I wonder if this area knows that they just ended up, they're now letting a fully functioning money laundering sex cult move into their subdivision with all these nice mansions.